Joining me on Impact Catalyst is Eugenie Bondurant. Welcome.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
I am living the dream. It's good to see you.
I am too. Thank you.
So today we are doing the first in a series of discussions about the people who won, the students who won the Charlie Honchel Scholarship, Art Star Scholarship this year. And this is our first conversation about that. So I'm glad to start with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You do a lot of work in teaching and coaching and mentoring for film acting. And can you talk a little bit about the work you in your professional sphere, and then the coaching and mentoring that you're doing, and contrast that to what you're seeing coming out of high schools and sort of youth are coming up and out in the acting world?
Absolutely. When I coach, my focus is on merging the personality or the essence of the actor with the piece for which they're performing, that person is performing. And I do that with a series of techniques. I'm a Meisner coach. I'm a Meisner trained teacher. And I've been teaching for acting for over 20 years. So what I look for is truthfulness. And everybody strives for that as an actor, male, female, high school students, junior high students, college age students, etc. What I don't often see coming out of high school is that connection with the spirit of the person. It's a beautiful performance, but I'm not seeing the essence. I'm not seeing a truthful performance. You understand?
Sure, yeah. It's performance, but it's a performance, right? Versus an imitation.
Yes, and it's beautiful and it's terrific, and it's got all the bells and whistles, and they've rehearsed it so much, but it looks like something that's been rehearsed. I don't know if I'm not seeing the surprise, the element of surprise come out of the performance.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So you obviously there's some of that may be age and just sort of emotional and intellectual development. Yes. Do you feel like given that you would assume that as well? Do you feel like those observations have changed over time? That you feel was less now than you've seen previously, or do you think it's sort of an age-old problem that could be more readily addressed?
I don't know if it's a problem so much. I think, given the environment that they're in, they have a great experience. Working in theater for a teenager and a middle school student and younger, even grammar school, is wonderful. Is a wonderful training for memorization, for learning how to get along with others, working as a group, working as an ensemble, looking at a piece and really learning how to break down a piece. I think some people are more. I think there are certain actors that gravitate, or certain performers that gravitate toward understanding it and a different perspective, and fully understanding and finding the motivation and the why behind why this character is doing what he's doing and what she's doing. I can't tell a person, oh my gosh, you have no talent, because perhaps that person may start working with someone else, and maybe they heard what I said, but the seed was planted, and then their eyes open up. But what I do see coming out of high schools, and it's no fault of the high school, it's just that it's a performance-based presentation, and it's clean and perfect and great and fabulous. And I'm looking for something a little more raw, a little more connected, a little more. There's something else that's happening that they're not really telling me, and maybe it's because of my film background. Maybe it's because I've coached a lot with film and television, but you can use those same methods on stage, just a little broader.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes any sense, but
sure, yeah. And I think, I look back at causality I would assume that the people who come, there's different reasons people get into acting as they're growing up. And I wonder sometimes if certain personality types, their very premise as a person is a little bit more raw, and they're getting in for that kind of expression. And then maybe another path forward is a little more academic or a little more craft based. And you wonder over time if, and again, you'd have to be really in the school system to know this, if the paths that lead into acting have over time evolved to not be as attractive to the people who bring that rawness, and while remaining attractive to the people who come from a craft point of view.
Maybe it's any kind of experience in the theater is great. Honestly, it's really great. There's certain people though that stand out, and I think Jordan. It is my feeling that Jordan is that person.
Yeah. So Jordan Lakins is the winner this year for the theater scholarship. Can you talk a little bit about what made you feel like she was the one that deserved to win it?
I've been doing this for a few years now, and I always look at the performances first. Right? I keep a grid, and on that grid, I have the name, and I don't read anything about the person. I just want to see what the performance is. So it's all performance based. It's not all performance based. It's performance is the primary thing, because you can just be starting out and have an extraordinary performance and be this incredible talent. I mean, there have been people that have done that, not necessarily going and applying for scholarships with TVBCA. They usually have a long resume, and they're usually in honors, and they've done incredible extracurricular activities, et cetera, et cetera. But with Jordan's performance stood out because there was this connection. I saw her in her performance. I saw there was it's hard to explain, this magic, this spark, this something that just kept me going back to her. And I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. This year was one of my toughest years judging. There were outstanding performances.
That's great. Well, we get a chance to see that spark ourselves because we actually have Jordan joining us. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, well, thanks for joining us. And congratulations on winning the scholarship.
Thank you so much.
So we were talking a little bit about, Eugenie was talking about that she really saw you in your performances. And that's something that is, can be more rare than we wish. Can you talk a little bit about your process? Why, when you approach doing a project, what part of you you put into it, and sort of some of the nuances and how you do that sort of work?
Yeah, of course. A lot of the time when I'm picking material, I try to think about how the material is going to bring out my personality, and less how the material is how I'm going to shine in the material kind of. I feel like a lot of the times people can pick stuff that, kind of isn't truly them, doesn't speak to them. And I definitely am guilty of picking material sometimes that doesn't work for me. But what I picked for the scholarship, I actually used in my college auditions. And I got some feedback, a lot of feedback from different schools about the pieces that I picked. So I felt like when I was going to do the scholarship that it was a good thing to use, because I got so much material on it and so much feedback. And I don't know. I kind of thought that it would bring out a little bit of me because I feel like I'm a little, I can be expressive a lot of the time.
So is it fair to say then that the roles that might be most attractive to you are roles that have some element of you, but then allow you also to stretch your personality into the character and become a hybrid?
Oh, of course, of course. When I do a lot of my comedy um, monologues, I tend to kind of shine a little bit in those because I kind of see myself as kind of a funny person. But with the serious ones, um, it's mostly about like how I prepare them. Sometimes it's kind of hard to bring out my personality sometimes, but
So you mentioned the feedback that you got from your when you were applying to schools. Which of that stood out to you the most?
so from Pace, I got my feedback. I did my monologue with one of their head of the BFA programs, and I did my funny monologue first, which is something that I was just told that I should do first because it brings out more of my personality, the funny side. So I automatically was like, that's the first one I'm doing. And I did the audition. And, one of the first things she said to me was like, it's very like your personality comes out a lot. And I heard that from NYU too. They said your personality comes out a lot, but you should choose the more serious monologues to first to kind of reel them in before, doing the funny monologues. And I actually kind of stuck with that. And now I only do my serious monologues first before my funny monologues.
What are your thoughts on that? Usually, does comedy get a bum rap?
No, oddly, what's funny in TV and film, casting directors prefer funny first because they want to go, oh gosh, good, she's not killing herself again, or she's not taking drugs again. It's like, and it's really cool to hear that, Jordan, because I didn't know that. And it neat. I think it's great.
So we're in strange times now. How does going to school and learning this craft work in the middle of a pandemic? What have you heard from Pace?
So from Pace, they have put out a statement that they're going to keep the virtual classes until spring of 2020, but they're actively working to bring the PPA, Pace Performing Arts kids to New York to do studio classes so that we can do safe studio classes with minimum people, but still stay in dorms and be able to do those online classes, which I'm really excited about because acting online is kind of a hard thing to do. I mean, it's great because you can take so many takes, as many as you want, but sometimes it can be a little difficult because you're not face to face with someone, especially when we do scene partner things, and that can kind of get hard. But I'm really excited about being able to still get the opportunity to go to New York.
That's great. And you had acting wasn't your first creative expression. You were very into music, jazz, things like that. Why out of all of those did acting emerge as the one that you're going to school for?
Well, in middle school, my mom she only had one car. So it was hard for her to pick me up after school to do the theater club, a lot of playing the trumpet during school. And that's what I love to do. But when I decided to apply for Blake High School, something told me that I should apply for theater. I mean, I always wanted to do it, but I never had the opportunity. And I don't know, something was like, you have to do theater, you have to do theater. And so I applied and I got in. And that the first year kind of did trumpet and played the baritone. But after getting cast in the show later on in the season, I kind of opened my eyes to this is exactly what I want to do because I love to be a part of something big. I like to be a part of things where everybody works together to make this one big, beautiful thing. And I mean, I did marching band and that is a perfect example of that. But I also, when I did theater, I did Violet, which was the show that I did. When I did Violet, I knew this is exactly what I want to do. Exactly.
It's wonderful. So you recorded the performance last week, and we're going to be airing these episodes for the next week, and then we'll be publishing and broadcasting that performance early next week. So we'll look forward to celebrating your win another time and getting to see you in action. Eugenie, thank you so much for being a judge for so many years and being a great mentor and a great presence. And Jordan, I hope you will follow Eugenie's lead and stay here and be in St. Pete and not and help make this a Mecca, and continue to become a Mecca for the arts. I don't want to lose you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.